This video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound. Let's go. What's up, y'all? Tight shirt Terry Warfield back in the building. We taking a break from cameras today, and we're gonna get right into the 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro. That whole title thing is stupid. What I'm supposed to say, M1 Pro or the MacBook Pro is just stupid. But anyways, now I upgraded from the base model M1 joint, and it served its purpose. Although the M1 MacBook Pro was pretty fast and fast enough for most people. As a creator, as somebody who edits heavy video files and tons of layers and stuff like that at the same time, it's pretty easy to bring the M1 MacBook Pro to its knees. So I needed or wanted some more power, and I'm glad we finally got it, because this is, in my opinion, the MacBook Pro that we've been waiting on a long time. So I want to give you my initial impressions after using it a few days, tell you the things I like, tell you the things I don't like, and without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright, so first thing is first, which MacBook Pro did I get? I went with the 14.2-inch M1 Pro. I didn't go max because honestly, I ain't got it like that and I ain't trying to spend all of that money. And I got the second tier of the M1 Pro 14.2-inch, the one that comes standard with the terabyte of storage and all that good stuff. So yeah, this bad boy costs $24.99, not freaking cheap at all. Now the first thing I want to touch on is aesthetics, because a lot of people don't talk about how the freaking machine looks, right? I'm a snob. I like my machines to look cool, and I gotta be honest, compared to the last generation one, or I shouldn't even say the last generation one because I just freaking bought it like 4 months ago, but compared to the original MacBook Pro M1, I don't like the way this thing looks. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm partial to the notch. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I wish it would have had Face ID. The fact that we didn't get center stage is freaking crap to me, but I mean, it's just not that sexy of a computer. Let's be honest. And I get it. We shouldn't be, picking a computer based off the way it looks, but I want it to look saucy. Now, I will say this. The keyboard is dope. I like how it is all black, and it's a very, very good keyboard. I've been typing on it so far. Honestly, I don't even have nothing to say about it. It just freaking works, which that's good to me. But aside from that, I mean, it's really nothing to be that excited about except for the freaking display. This display, and I'm saying it like CJ Unplugged, this thing is absolutely bananas, yo. Coming from the 13-inch, right? First of all, the extra 1.2 inches makes a huge difference. Let me pull this joint out just from underneath the table. Now, I gave this M1 MacBook Pro to my wife, so you see her stuff on here, but you can see just how much difference the screen makes. Plus, at the same time, the bezels are way smaller. Man, I'm gonna be honest, looking at footage on this screen makes the M1 MacBook Pro look terrible. It's 120 hertz. That probably makes this computer feel way faster than it is, which it is fast. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. The screen is just amazing to look at. The darks are dark, the brights are super bright. The screen gets so bright, like I get a suntan from it. It's just a fantastic display to look at. It's very accurate. Nothing more to say about really the aesthetics except for it's a MacBook. I wish they would have went back to like the 2015 styling, because this one is real thick, you know what I'm saying? And although I like them thick, this is thick, you know what I'm saying? 2015 version had all of the ports, but it wasn't this thick. Now, before we move forward, I got to tell y'all about today's sponsor, and that's Epidemic Sound. First of all, thank you to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. But second of all, if you're a content creator, or maybe you're thinking about becoming a content creator, music is one of the most important things that you will use when it comes to creating your videos, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You don't want to go on there stealing music off of YouTube or using other people's music without their permission. That's the easiest way to get all of your hard work sacrificed, channel demonetized, all of that good stuff. So I use Epidemic Sound for all of my videos. Music in this video is from Epidemic Sound. They have sound effects. They have the stems feature that you can download bits and pieces of the song, and most of all, it's copyright free, so you can use it on all of your platforms and you will never get a copyright strike or nothing like that. Let me offer you a free 30-day trial down in the description. Try it out. Let me know what you think about it. See if it fits your workflow, which I'm sure it will. And thank you to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. Let's get right back into the battery life. Now, the battery life on the M1 Pro for me so far has not been all that great compared to the original M1 MacBook Pro. And I think that, it's kind of hard to knock it because it is so freaking powerful. And it's a pro machine, so it's got to power a whole lot more cores and GPUs, the memory architecture, all of that stuff. So I get it. The screen is bigger, all of that stuff. I understand that. But I've been able to cook this battery in 1 hour and 20 minutes using Final Cut Pro full tilt, whereas with like the original MacBook Pro, I could get easily 3 hours of battery editing video with Final Cut Pro. So again, the battery life is not terrible, but it hasn't been for me as strong as the original MacBook Pro that has the M1 chip in it. But you know, I guess that's to be expected. We want a Pro machine. Hey, it's the byproduct of having a way more powerful computer. The next thing I love about it, port selection. Obviously, I cannot tell y'all how amazing it is to have an SD card slot and actual ports that you can use. I'm so sick of living that dongle life. And now that I have this joint right here, I haven't had to use dongles at all. I've been able to plug up 2 hard drives at a time, a memory card, transfer footage back and forth, and that for me has been obviously amazing. The next thing I really love about this, the speakers. Now, I know everybody does the speaker test to try to get y'all to get it to pick up on camera. That ain't gonna do it justice, so I'm not gonna do it. I will tell you, the speakers in the new M1 Pro and M1 Max 14.2 or 16-inch, yo, they are absolutely ridiculous and crushing the previous body's speaker design. There's actually full bass, the mid-tones are separated, the treble is separated from the tweeters. It's amazing, yo. Let's talk about performance, because that has been where I have been absolutely blown away with the M1 Pro. Now, I can only imagine what the M1 Max can do, but this M1 Pro, I suspect, is probably powerful enough for 99% of people out there looking for a MacBook Pro. And I'm talking advanced, people that run a lot of stuff on their computers. This thing, I'm gonna be honest, makes the original M1 MacBook Pro feel like an Intel machine. I'm not exaggerating, and that is no kidding. I use Final Cut Pro, which is obviously optimized, right? But comparing apples to apples, I was using Final Cut Pro on the original M1 MacBook Pro. I was able to choke it out by using multiple 4K layers, and I'm using heavy footage, 422 10-bit files from the A7S III. And once you layer a couple of those up, slap some MOTIONVFX on top of it, which all of the graphics and stuff in this video, I gotta plug it. It's from MOTIONVFX, link down below. But those things are intensive, and it's easy to bring the MacBook Pro M1 joint to a crawl. I have not been able to get this thing to struggle. This is the first computer I've ever used in editing that is able to keep up with my keystrokes, my movements, my timeline edits, and all of that stuff. It is ridiculous. I mean, I've gotten it to stutter a time or two, but that's because I was, adding stabilization, adding a LUT at the same time, applying a tracking effect from MOTIONVFX on it, and a title or something like that. And I mean, I got it to slow down a tad bit, but it's literally only for like a split second, and it's right back on it, man. It is wild how fast this thing is, and not even just editing, like day-to-day stuff like internet, launching music, all of that stuff. It rips. And like, I can't believe like they can keep making this faster like this. Like, what does the next generation look like? It's freaking ridiculous, and it's really something that you got to get your hands on one and test it out for yourself to see literally how fast. It's crazy. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I do miss the touch bar. I was a person who was a fan of the touch bar. I know all y'all little anti-touch bar people out there didn't like it, but I really liked the touch bar. But I do appreciate having the physical keys too at the same time, so that's dope. I do find the fingerprint sensor much more responsive than the last generation when it could be placebo. I don't know if they changed it or not. Maybe because just it's a bigger button, so I guess it's easier to place your finger right there, but that has been a much better experience for me. As far as the camera goes, like, I don't expect much out of a MacBook Pro camera. They got to keep the lid of the MacBook thin, so they can't stuff a super dope sensor in there. But, using it so far, it's been passable. All right, this is a test of the internal camera. This is the internal microphone. It's a lot of noise in the background. So this is how the camera looks. The lighting ain't that great in here, but, it is what it is. The trackpad is still the same. Port selection, the speed, the improved display, which is fantastic. The notch is there, whether you like it or not. It is the notch. And the battery life. Those are the things that are most important to me when I'm using the laptop. I don't game on my laptop, so I'm sorry I can't offer any insight on that. I got a whole PS5 for that if I want to game, so I don't do that on my MacBook Pro. Overall, this thing for me has been a ridiculous upgrade from the previous M1 MacBook Pro, which was already a powerhouse. So all I'm gonna say is, if you are in the market and you considering one of these MacBook Pros, I would highly recommend you do so. And I don't really know for average people if the Max, and I'm not gonna say average people because obviously us buying these machines, we ain't average. But you know, for people who are editing sound, editing music, editing videos and stuff like that, I suspect the Pro is more than enough. But if you just got it like that and you want the most powerful thing that Apple got to offer, then go ahead and get the Max thing and ball out. But anyways, let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Are you getting a new MacBook Pro? Are you sticking with your original M1 joint? Are you gonna wait for the next generation? Let me know. I'm very curious to know. And again, thank you to today's sponsor, Epidemic Sound. If you guys need music, sound effects for your projects, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Don't sabotage your hard work. 30-day trial is in the description. Try Epidemic Sound out. Trust me, you will not regret it. I'm out of here. Peace and chicken grease. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Peace, Terry Warfield.